You alright there? What's over here? Are you alright? Why is there a spooky ghost in the corner where I'm at? It's gone. Will it come back? What the fuck? That's weird. That's weird. That's really weird. Anyway, let's have ourselves a rest. When I beat the expansion last time, it was when I slept that something else came up again. I'm curious to see if there's going to be an additional follow-up when we rest outside of the expansion's world. Also, I'm loaded in money. It was already true, but now it's just too much. We're up to 317,000. Ah. What do I even do with all this shit? Ba-boom. I should have changed my characters first. So that affects who gets the rest bonus. It occurs to me. Maybe if I just walk up to somebody, I can choose to change my party. Zawa and Haravius are in a room together? Hey, Kana. Once upon a time, I liked the idea of a two-chanter party, and then it just kind of didn't happen that way.
Need something?
No, I can't recruit them from here. Well, I'm already here, so might as well rest. That's a lot of options. Resolve. Want to make one of my core strengths as my protagonist all the more strengthier. Alright, so nothing happened. Gotcha. How do I choose which one I like the most? I don't know. Bit of a struggle is just the fact that, like, it's true a lot of the gear in this game is kind of designed to be balanced. So, like, a lot of it is just, like, preference or particular build.
Another foreign colony.
Another foreign colony. A lot of the gear you can wear on your characters is just kind of designed to be simultaneously valid across the board. Obviously, it's not balanced when you compare, like, fine to exceptional, but you can make anything exceptional or superb with the items that it takes to enchant that. So when you ignore those kinds of modifiers, the special effect on each piece of gear can be pretty balanced. So on some level, it's less important which piece of gear I decide to enchant, and more just that I do choose to enchant something. So let's see if I can come up with a goddamn decision finally. And I can't open all these at once. So currently wearing the Coat of Ill Payment, which has the worst recovery speed out of any of these, but it'll be improved if I enchant it to have a better recovery speed, which is what happens when I do this. The White Forge. 15% of incoming crits become hits, and 15% of armor speed penalty is reduced. That's the main benefit there. So I would like to do that. So Coat of Ill Payment, DR 14, the highest of all these. These numbers actually get pretty slow. Yeah, these are both medium armor, so maybe that should be what I should be looking at. Based on that, this has pretty good recovery speed for such heavy armor, considering how slow this one is, for example. This one's like anti-poison. Yeah. Sun-touched Mail of Hyron Wrath's not exactly blowing my mind, honestly. Maybe I was considering it for a different character at the time. Some crits become hits. Enchanting it on top of that would make 25% of crits become hits, which would be helpful. This is the one that has retaliation. Whereas this one has... When I'm under 25% health, I gain 50% armor damage reduction. That's not under 25% endurance, it's health. Which means he's been revived multiple times to the point where he's in serious, deep shit situation. But endurance over time, healing, it kind of helps, especially when it's stacking with Yaskia's heal over time and Adair's buffed heal over time that's on himself. Between those, he could be getting a decent amount of trickling health all the time. I don't know. I wish I could be more decisive. To some extent, it's maybe just the fact that none of them stand out to me that much. So maybe because none of them seem that stand out, I can just go anywhere with that. There's Aru Breaker. 2 perception, 10 deflection against ranged attacks. Means incoming ranged attacks just are less likely to get the big bad hit. And I'm otherwise actually really low on heavy armor. When you look at this category. Retaliation definitely makes a kind of sense because people hit him a lot. If his primary job is to tank, then having damage go back out to the enemies via the tanking makes a lot of sense. Maybe ultimately just sticking with what I've got is the way to go. Didn't I stack like an extra layer? That's a nice thing to have. I don't... No, I think I had a secondary level of retaliation that I think I removed to put this on, which is a pretty good item. And of course, I'm about to do a big battle where, for all I know, I'll get rewarded by getting a goddamn better chess piece the moment I decide to enchant this one. I can immediately get a better one, which is frustrating. But I'm gonna commit. Boom, legendary. Boom, White Forge. Its attribute bonus is already there, which is resolve. So now it's just which stat do I want to be proof? Slash, shock, pierce, freeze, crush, corrode, burn. Where R is damage reduction? Yeah. So overall, the weapon has he has 18 overall. Because he's legendary now. His armor speed penalty is down. On that level alone, it's already really good. It seems corrode is his weak spot. But yeah, we established before that armor efficiency affects the mod too. So if I remember correctly, if I buff the thing he's already good against, it'll get better by even greater margin. But if I buff the thing that he's weaker at, I'll lose part of the buff. So I might as well enchant his crush to be even better, so that it starts to infringe upon being practically like an immunity against that thing. So crush. Crush proofed. Yep. Now he's up to a 26 damage reduction against crush. So that's handy. And now it's one of my first ever fully enchanted items, 14 out of 14, including Durgan Reinforced, which doesn't count towards the 14, but it's being added to the top of everything else. Meanwhile, like, yeah, bracers can't be enchanted, helms can't be enchanted, no boots, no belts. Yeah. So it's just your weapon slots and your armor slot. And his weapon slots are white. My character has 2 separate sets of white weapons and a white chest piece, so none of that can be enchanted. And then from then on, the entire choice of who I bring in is up in the air and ambiguous and so on.
I have heard terrible things. I worried you would not return. Is it true that there are riots in Defiance Bay, and that Avar Wolfgren has been slain?
Wow, I haven't talked to you in that long? Wow. Yes, and I'll make Theos pay for what he's done. I am sure you will, my lord. And much does he deserve it. May the gods harry his every step. I am glad, above all, that you are unharmed. I can only hope that Defiance Bay recovers. What is the state of the keep? Let's begin. That's just that. Oh yeah, the glass tree. It took 3 separate expeditions from the south coast of the living lands of Forzawa to reach the fabled Valley of Glass. Though the legends have been exaggerated somewhat, the reality of the valley was breathtaking. It contained flora and fauna that had never been seen in any other known part of Aora. Great lumbering beasts and terrifying winged creatures that flew so high they seemed to disappear into the clouds. And at the heart of it all was the great glass tree. When Zawa examined it, it became obvious that it was not made of glass at all, but a fascinating, clear wood bearing transparent sap along its great trunk and branches. Though the storied helmed warrior was nowhere to be found, Zawa did find a pair of glittering, clear wooden gauntlets at the base of the tree. It's unclear who made them, if they were made from the tree's wood, and why they had been left there. With the route finally charted, other explorers began arriving in the Valley of Glass, but subsequent visitors reported that the flora and fauna had started to fade and disappear. Some speculate that the arrival of the outsiders was causing the magic of the valley to retreat back into the depths of Aora. Dazzling. Characters hit by self are dazed. Characters hitting self applies the same effect as characters hit by self. That's funny. That they had to do the recursive phrasing. And then dazed is accuracy reduced by 10. Neat. And then 9 deflection. What are Edar's gauntlets? Because that might be useful. 9 deflection. Wow. Okay, let's get to the loot chest that I don't always get around to. I believe we just found an upgrade for Edar. Shit. There's so much. Okay, stash. So Edar, you can have these. These are the actual items. Then these are all these gotta go away. The looking inward chime. Mats. 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 So many items. Okay, I accidentally put something in. Shit, well, damn it. Amalia's Codex. Why is it in that category? Weird. Fuck. No. Damn it, I lost it already. I accidentally looted one of the items into this inventory instead of my main one that was an item. But like, it's just... it's all so incomprehensible. There's so much to it these days. What... shit, what category was it? I forgot. I already forgot what type of item it was. Oh my god. It only tells me what was added to the stash. But only the ingredients. It doesn't mention the other item I accidentally put in the stash that I didn't mean to put in the stash because it was right before the Hellwax mold and after Melina's boots. There was some other item that I accidentally put in the stash that was like a once per rest item. So, oh yeah, so it's a once per rest item, so it's probably in... what category would that go in? It's like a consumable that you can use in your inventory, I think, that has cooldowns. I don't know, it might not even be good. They usually aren't. But I'm just frustrated. I'm just frustrated by this inventory system so bad. Where was it? Isn't it a consumable? It goes in my consumable slot. Yeah, here's Ifrin's cradle. Oh, here we go. Blighted Colds. Jesus Christ. Alright. This summons a magma blight once per rest. Gotcha. Put that in somebody's inventory and they can use it during fights. Recall agony. Overwhelming wave. Just a big old crush stun. AoE. When hit by a crit. I think at this point that might be worth more. Having a shockwave of knockdown might be more effective at this point in the campaign than a modified recovery. And yeah, this is just the gauntlets he already has, but with the cool effect of dazzling. And Dare's getting scary. I don't like charge items because I'm under the impression that they just stop doing anything once you use them up. Ability area of effect. Holy meditation on a hit or crit. Concentration of will amongst my allies. Range damage. I think... What did I just do? Wasn't it a... Oh, there were gloves. I got mixed up because I was looking at the other slot a second ago. 10% spell damage. I think area of effect would be a little more helpful for me. With the ability to chain my attacks to everybody. Crossed patch. Immune to blinded at the cost of accuracy. Huh? I'm not really full of flankers necessarily. Defense against stun and prone. This is a copy. Fully duplicate non-soul bound weapons, shields, armor, and other equipment placed inside it. It's pretty good shit. But it has to be non-legendary. Or non-soul bound. Weapons, shields, armor, and other equipment. Does it also mean like this guy? Could I get this on another character? That might be nice. Just dazzling the shit out of people. Obviously there's other options too. But yeah, like a really niche, useful item like that might be useful to duplicate. If I want to put on another character of similar role. Yeah, this is a charges item. So this is useless, so I might as well put the magma spider here. Because that only worked in one zone, and I never even needed it. hell wax mold. Could always quick save and find out the hard way. Do I have to use it from his inventory?
Hey.
Equipped items cannot be duplicated. Then it gets pushed in your stash. There we go. There we go. I don't know, that might seem like an underwhelming thing to duplicate, but one of my issues here is that so many of these characters are so niche. So many of their items are so specific to what they're doing at the moment, and so many of like what they're like, they have different roles and different equipment types, so duplicating gear often doesn't make sense because the other characters around them use completely different types of gear in many cases. And on top of that, the more really cool things like armor and weapons, there's a decent chance that everyone's kind of already found their niche, and a lot of people are using specific weapons that are soulbound and level up over time, which can't be duplicated, and also they don't want to switch away from those. And then for a lot of the armor I could duplicate, when it would duplicate to other characters, it'd be like stuff that those characters don't necessarily even want to use in the first place, is kind of my issue. So that's where I get torn about that, I suppose. That's the main thing. Whereas this is just a straight up useful item. It's like, oh, those 9 deflection bracers I've already been using on various characters to help them stay alive and all that. Now they're dazzling. Everyone who hits them, or they hit, gets -10 accuracy and other effects. That's actually just a flat, like, really useful thing. So both of these characters having that just seems like a really good bonus to my front line, essentially. That's what I'm thinking at the moment, though. Hope I'm right. But I'm also trying to be less indecisive and just commit to these ideas because you know, it's micromanaging and optimizing everything's a little hard. Two spellcasters. Do I want to use the Devil of Karok? Not necessarily. I like Sagani's weapon better.
I'm here.
I mean, didn't mean to do that.
Ready, Watcher.
There we go. Aggressive, aggressive.
I'm ready.
Aggressive. You all were in the party already? Gotcha.
I'm ready.
Now we edit the formation. A lot of busy work. E2 back. And this formation mostly makes sense anyway, so we're good.
I'm ready.
We're gearing up for the big final fight. The Golden Scales. Already superb. I'm pretty sure I'm keeping Pallegina around. I just generally like her. So I think she's going to go into the final fight with me. I should probably enchant her. Can I get legendary? Oof. The Bog Dragon Scale. That's it. I'll have to be able to buy more to go further. Scary. There's your Durganing. Your gear currently specializes in armor efficiency. You get a bonus to slash, you get a bonus to cold. So I think I want to enchant yours with slash. There we go. And now I need to pick an attribute that she can have enchanted. How big is the bonus? Oh, I can't. We've capped already? Burn damage reduction bonus, reflecting. The burn DR bonus. Slash proofed, dark and reinforced, legendary, reflecting. I guess it's her built-in bonuses already used some of the budget we have here. And these cost 2 and 4, so it's not the proofing, it's the quality. And I probably want to keep the quality. So yeah, let's just keep it legendary. And that'll have to suffice. No more stat bonuses. But she gets to be a badass, so that's neat. She also has 9 deflection. Do I want to do melee damage? I'm not sure that I do. She also already has a resolve here. And concentration. Attacks can be interrupted too. Is it worth losing 1 resolve? Maybe. For 20 concentration, it's a decent chunk. It helps ensure that she just doesn't get interrupted in general. Has the result of taking her cape off too. No. Maybe a spellcaster. Yeah, you could do it with the resolve. There we go. Spell damage multiplier. You're not wearing gloves. What? When did that happen? Did I just do that earlier? I'm not sure how I made that mistake, but okay. There's the fighter recovery. I'll keep it on him in case I choose to switch back. Silver Flash, I keep considering checking whether I want to switch this with Grieving Mother, but I also don't know if she'll ever be in my party again, so we'll see. Yeah. Ooh, there's a lot of setup. I thought we'd be fighting by now. So Guy needs to level up now. Her survival is way the hell up there. Just commit, be the badass. She hasn't been in my party this long that she's 2 levels behind already? With her weapon I never fixed? No, it's just its skill. It's a magic pink pirate bow. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's fine. We're fine. Everything's fine. Vicious Companion, damage gets DR, companion gets DR bypass. Resilient Companion, damage reduction, I should probably get that. Faithful Companion, yeah. Let's get the DR, just to help the companion scale with how much further we've made it. That's a big chunk of, oh yeah, that's scaling itself. Yeah, +1 every 3 levels after 1. Yep, so it's got +4 overall. I thought the number was getting higher, it would have to. Now, Itumak has scaling damage reduction that goes up with the game. Because otherwise he hasn't. And so that's not been great news for him. I'm sure he's died more and more as a result. Defensive Bond. Knock an enemy prone. Make somebody stuck for half a minute. Damn. Because it's roots. If you can get to work. Reflection against incoming attacks. Vicious aim. I already did the fast aim, so that's not happening. Shoot 2 arrows at once, but that's not my weapon type, and I'm pretty committed at this point. This is the weird self-blinding weapon. I don't like that idea. When a ranger or his or her animal companion are knocked out, the partner suffers the normal effects of bond grief, but becomes filled with focused rage for a short duration. 20% damage, 20% attack speed. Neat. They gain speed, movement, and do additional damage. Could help when my companion goes down. Then you can revive, and you can heal the companion. So it's that stuff, or do I want to be, like, able to avoid incoming attacks? How long does it last? Kind of wish it would tell me. But 20% attack speed, 20% damage on top of all the other damage and attack speed bonuses she has are terrifying, actually. Let's go with that. And now, level cap. Survival's not going to get any higher. Maybe athletics. One last chance for one of these. Vicious Companion makes sense. And we're done. Yeah, the final level cap level just doesn't let you make... You don't make very interesting choices at that point.
Ready, Watcher.
Swift aim. Okay. So we're back to having one more dude. I like Sagani. She's focused, she has a lot of damage, she has got a cool weapon that I've attached to her. So those are all... That's all decent motivation. She's not wearing any fucking rings or a helm. The fuck? Why would that be the case? And she's just got this... Randomly has a shield in her inventory. At this point, Adair's taken. He's a married man. What the fuck? Why don't I have any rings or a helm? What happened? That's just confusing. What happened last time I played as you? Now gotta deal with this problem. Alright, that's not a helm, that's a different thing. Alright, so resolve and perception. Perception comes from Lilith's Shawl. Resolve comes from Vigil. Okay, so perception's already boosted by Lilith. Yeah, that's a lot of perception. Maybe I just didn't have a helm to give her at the time. And then just forgot to check. Well, I probably didn't have a helm the first time I equipped her. And then just didn't have anything to give her after that point or something. The perception works, the stealth could work. Although, does this have stealth? This is an aura of stealth. This is the stealth for the same bonus of perception. Dexterity. She probably already has dex bonus. No, she doesn't. That helps with her attack speed. Did it do something else bad, though? No? Dexterity and athletics, and she was always bad at athletics. It also fits her thematically as a hunter to wear the stag helm, and an immunity to stuck could help avoid her getting crowd controlled. So I guess that makes sense. 3 more dexterity. Shit. That is what I'd wanted. That is just straight up more dexterity in the other one. Yeah, no, a ton of these rings apply to what I'm doing here. I don't think this is useful. I guess just the general bonus would be nice. But now my dexterity is coming from the Ring of Thorns, which means that I'm still not getting dex from this either. Damn it. But the immunity to stuck might be worth it still. Because admittedly, some of these other helms are pretty iffy. At least she's immune to stuck and has 2 athletics, I guess. I don't know. I've been macromanaging for a while, so I'm a little ready to move on, perhaps. Because we're kind of getting there. Okay. At least she's wearing gear. Is everyone at least wearing slots of gear? And yeah, I just saw that. Aloth doesn't have boots. I can't believe I'm this far in the game and there's slots that are open on characters. It's because it's just so many fucking characters. It's just a lot, man. It's just a lot to manage. Playing post-expansion with 3 more characters, too. Then you have this system where you equip stuff, but stuff gets... I don't hate the idea that stats get overridden by other stats, so you can't stack the same stat across several different pieces of equipment. But I wish that there was an equipping interface that indicated, yo, if you put that on him, he's not going to get the bonus. So I didn't have to like manually page over to the other page to check where he's getting his current bonuses from and then come back to compare it. But then, because this is the stash, I have to then open the stash manually after having checked the stat. And it's like, it's just, there's so many weird little steps. What do I want to give him? I mean, just a resistance against a bunch of different mobility baddies would be helpful. Why not? That's good enough, right? I figure. Forgot he's wearing the strangest helm, but I think it's because he does get the intellect bonus from it, right? Yeah. That's the best intellect bonus we've got right now. Is from a piece of equipment that looks like it's made for a different class entirely. That is how we jam it. All right. Time for Yenwood, at long last. Because we're getting there. This stuff is cleared out. I'm pretty much happy to ignore all these. So we have the Battle of Yenwood Field. And then we're back to the main story. Let's talk about my army. What special allies do I have available? The Knights of the Crucible, Crag Ogres from the Flames That Whisper, and Elite Redsurin Pathfinders. So I've got a few different allies now. That's good. Where am I getting my troops? We've been to this before. You made some Recapture friends, I see. I've been told to expect a unit of Pathfinders, courtesy of Adaric. Ah. That's where the Recapture came from. So I have 3 allies. One of them is who you ally with in Defiance Bay, but 2 of the allies are actually from the expansion. I have no idea if the Battle of Yenwood Field was from the expansion or not. They might have retroactively added 2 allies to make the fight easier, maybe? But now I've got 3 allies. Okay. So we've more or less accomplished our goal. And yeah, like, at the time it seemed like an urgent quest I should take care of right now. And it might have been more narratively satisfying if I took care of it right when it came up. But clearly I still was able to recruit allies for it, so my mission was not over. I first went to the expansion in the first place because I wanted to find allies, because they suggested I do that. And that was like 40 episodes ago. And then now that I just barely finished the expansion second half, now I have yet another ally. So it's actually a very end game quest, despite how relatively early it shows up, I guess. It is time, Marshal. Assemble the army and march to Yenwood Field. Are you certain? Once our forces are committed, you won't be able to bolster them with additional troops or allies. Yes, I'm sure. Give the order. As you command. I'll march the army to Yenwood Field. Will you be accompanying us? Yes, let's march. Either that or I'll meet you there. I guess it gives you the chance to do something else in the meantime. We're gonna show this guy what for. This son of a bitch. So, I'm trying to remember details here. This is the guy that was like, I went through all the work of getting Cadnua back on our, uncovering it and reclaiming it and building it up, and this guy got jealous because it's like, this was my ancestral land, even though we abandoned it and are only coming in when somebody else actually came in to actually do all the work. And generally people were siding with me, but also the court proceedings never got to finish because he just straight up abandoned them because he refused to give legitimacy to the very idea of them in the first place. And then he just tried to attack me, and then like he sent like assassins after me, and I basically convinced them that like, I don't know, maybe you're just better off on my side. And they were like, I don't know, maybe if you can show me that you're that lady was basically like, maybe if you can show me that I'm better off on your side, then I'll join your side, because I like to be on the winning side. So there might be a traitor seated inside of their team at this point, but only if I can really scare them. As you crest a small hill overlooking Yenwood Field, Lord Gathbane's army is a flurry of activity, scurrying to and fro. Even from this distance you can hear the drums of war beating their steady cadence, designed to intimidate their foes while organizing the rank and file into battle formations. Marshal Forthwin approaches. You've arrived just in time. Lord Gathbane's forces are beginning to move. An attack is imminent. Inspect your forces. The local militia constitutes the majority of the rank and file. As you walk the unorganized ranks, young faces look to you with hope and determination. The fear in the air is palpable, as many fidget with unfamiliar weaponry and armor. Among the troops, a small group of warriors shine brighter than the others. Crucible knights, standing tall in gleaming plate, armor, and armed with spear and shield. They stand at attention, spear centered as you pass. You pass a group of crag ogres working themselves into a frenzy. They carve jagged wounds across each other's chests and back, their war cries echoing through the camp. Your troops give them a wide berth. A squad of Red Saren pathfinders make ready for the upcoming battle. War bows are strung and quivers are filled as you pass. One of the archers spots you and whistles. Silently, each of them places a closed fist over heart and salute. Any idea what Gathbane's planning? Marshal Forthwin strokes his chin. His ultimate objective is to face you in battle, and to be seen defeating you. I doubt he is foolish enough to challenge you in single combat, of course. Sound the horn, Marshal Forthwin. It's time to finish this. Marshal Forthwin begins barking orders to your troops, and your troops quickly form up. Gathbane's army follows suit as Adiran war drums echo across the field. Within a few moments, the marshal raises a brass horn in the visage of a mighty boar to his lips. He looks at you expectantly. Nod. Or just fucking scream. Tonight the ravens will feast on our enemies while we drink, fuck, and revel in glorious victory. Yeah. For Cadnua! Your troops bellow across the field, pounding weapon to shield as the marshal's horn sounds. Dozens of bowstrings twang in unison behind you as your archers unleash a hail of arrows at Gathbane's army. The missiles hiss through the air with deadly accuracy, felling scores of enemies. In a bold move, Gathman points his sword towards your position, giving an unheard order. His infantry, shields raised, charge the field. Your infantry charges headlong into the enemy infantry in the center of the field. The cacophonous sound of metal on metal is nearly deafening as the two forces collide. Fighting is fierce, and the screams of the dying numerous. Your troops fight bravely, but their inexperience is leading to heavy losses. Within a few moments, it's clear the Gathman's troops have the advantage, as your forces are slowly being pushed back. But then a group of Adiran battle mages emerges from behind enemy lines. They begin weaving their hands in unison with practiced precision. Suddenly, waves of arcane fire erupt among your troops. The acrid smell of smoke and burning flesh is nearly overwhelming. From the left flank, a unit of Rauatai berserkers, clad in plate armor and wielding greatswords, begins to collapse the left side of the line. The ground is thick with dead as they press their advantage. Meanwhile, bleak walker paladins dressed in dark armor and carrying sword and shield stride back and forth behind Gathman's lines, rallying his warriors and exhorting them to fight harder. As the battle rages, Marshal Forthwind looks to you for orders. So we can focus on the berserkers, the battle mages, or the bleak walkers. Studying the battlefield is probably free. Gathman's army is clearly superior to your own. Your lines are barely holding, and the troops appear on the verge of panic. Without a change in tactics or fortune, you fear this battle is lost. I mean, I would say mage is bad. Those are always the vulnerable people you want to take out. We need to deal with those battle mages. What's your plan, your Dresquier? I'm just wondering who best takes out mages. Arrows might be able to get... Arrows might be able to take them out at range, but they could probably deflect them. Ogres might be able to just completely overwhelm them. Yeah. I'm gonna have to say that. The ogres should be able to overwhelm the mages. Sound the charge for our ogre allies. The crag ogres charge the Gathman lines in a blood frenzy. Using their size, many of the ogres leap over the enemy line, ignoring grievous wounds, while many fall, nearly a dozen to reach the battle mages. A high-pitched scream permeates the din of battle as you see an unarmed ogre lift one of the mages overhead and rip him in two. Shortly after, the magical barrage against your army ceases. As the battle rages, Marshal Forthwind looks to you for orders. We have Bleakwalkers and we have Berserkers. Berserkers should be unarmored. So the Paladins could do that, or the Crucible Knights. Take out the Berserkers. Send in the Crucible Knights. The Knights of the Crucible form a shield wall to reinforce the crumbling left flank. Rauatai berserkers throw themselves against the wall with reckless abandon. Each time a knight falls, another steps into the breach. Shield held high and spear at the ready. The berserkers' losses are many, and within a few minutes it is clear the wall will hold. As the battle rages, Marshal Forthwind looks to you for orders. The bleak walkers must die. Their melee army. They're probably similar to the Crucible Knights in their threat. So, yeah. Having the archers is probably good news. The chance to weaken them without engaging with them directly. Marshal Forwin avoids an incoming arrow before answering. How do you plan to doing that? Order the Rayed Saren Pathfinders to give him a few volleys. The Rayed Saren archers send volleys of arrows into the bleak walkers' ranks. The precision of the archers shocks the heavily armored warriors as the Rayed Sarens find weak points between the thick plates or armor. With Gathbin's elite guard behind them and the line in front of them, the bleak walkers are forced to charge. This doesn't stop the Pathfinders from launching volley after volley into both the knights and their allied troops in the front line. Each volley lands with devastating effect as dozens of enemies drop to the bloody earth clutching lethal arrow wounds. As the battle rages, Marshal Forthwind looks to you for orders. Charge. That's all we got left. As the remainder of your forces charge, a horn sounds in the distance. A new contingent of warriors crests a nearby hill. As Gathbin's reinforcements charge headlong into the fray, his other troops cheer triumphantly. Shouts of joy soon turn to roars of dismay as the new arrivals begin attacking Gathbin's infantry. You make out the figure of Captain Emery leading the charge in her dark armor. Hey, the traitor! She kills one of Gathbin's men with a well-aimed pistol shot before running another through with a gleaming rapier. She fells one foe after another, pausing briefly at one point to salute you with her sword from across the battlefield. As the battle rages, your forces are clearly winning the day. Gathbin's army begins to collapse. Yaskier! Lord Gathbin strides through the carnage, his elite guard accompanying him. I'll not have you take this victory from me. It's time I put you down like the dog you are. Here I am. Let's finish this. So after all, he is going to challenge me one-on-one. Oh my god, how big is this fucking fight? By the way, is there a fog of war? Is there... Nope. Wow. Nope, this is the entire battlefield. This crew versus the... Honestly, we seem pretty evenly matched, which is bad news for them because I have this party of heroes that will destroy them. Wow, there's a lot of people on my side. Alright. This ought to be interesting. Oh. What's happening? What? What's happening? A Diran priest interrupted a Diran mercenary. A Diran beguiler crits a Diran archer. What the fuck? Are they all just hitting each other back there? War dog hits a Diran archer. What is happening? Why are they all hitting each other? I don't know what's happening. I guess I should stay back here while I wait for this to resolve itself. I don't understand. Like, 4 of them died and the fight didn't start yet. The fuck? Like, what the fuck? Did the AI just shut off? Lose its goddamn mind? Crazy ass people. Alright. Oh my god. I can buff so many people. Oh my god, I can buff so many people. All of these allies are all affected by my buffs. Even the ones that aren't in my party. They're gonna be pretty doomed, aren't they? Oh my god. They never stood a chance. This is hilarious. I can put Watchful Guardian on all of the randos, so they'll get back up. Oh god. Please cast it where they're actually standing, though. Oh, he's already doing it. He's already doing it. Well, it's still fun. I mean, this fight's gonna be over so fast. They never stood a chance. Jesus Christ. That lasted seconds. I guess here I thought this was going to be a multi-episode ordeal, like Console Hut's siege. Lord Gathbin lies dead before you, his army scattered. Bloodied and exhausted, your remaining troops look to you, swords raised high in victory, chanting your name. A lot of experience.
That's it.
Look at the hammer. The hammer spell from Console Hut. Holding the hem of his robe as he steps over several bodies, Chancellor Warren approaches you. Although his face is pale, and he looks as if he will be sick at any moment, he forces a smile. Lord Yaskier, while I'm grateful this dispute is finally over, it is regrettable so many lives were lost in the process. Gathbin should have just been reasonable from the start. He gags involuntarily as his silk boot brushes against a severed head. In any event, as the legal arbiter of Earl Baedmar, I'm here to inform you that you've been declared a Thane of Deerwood, and Cadnua has been recognized as your domain. It shall forever be thus, and will pass down to any descendants you may have in the future. Of course, now that your claim has been upheld, you are expected to forward a small portion of any taxes you collect to your rightful lord, Earl Baedmar. Sounds reasonable. It appears my work is done. Feel free to visit the palace if he steps in a pile of entrails with a wet squish as he turns to leave. On second thought, I'll come and visit you. Yes, perhaps in a year or 3. Odyaskir, it's been an honor to serve you. I'll be making my way back to Girin's grasp. The Earl has some urgent business for me there, unfortunately. Do you ever find yourself that far north? Feel free to call on me. I'd love to trade war stories with you over a cup or 2. He grasps your hand briefly in a firm grip, then turns on his heel. That hammer keeps smacking. Well, that fucking happened. Generic loot. Boop. Not generic loot. Doot. Generic loot. Boop. Boop. It's not even hammering anymore, it's just kind of floating there, like it doesn't know what to do. I don't know. They never really stood a chance because we seemed pretty equally matched on number of troops before you even account for the fact that my characters are scary. Just on average. But then they all started killing each other, so I don't know what the fuck happened there. That was weird. Suppress affliction. Blunting belt. Ogre might gauntlets. Gathbin family signet. Lord's authority once per stronghold turn. User gets 5 might 5 resolve immunity charmed and dominated. But only per turn at the stronghold. How annoying. Huh. That's one of the reasons to have story, to have experience keep happening even when we're capped out, is that's the only way that turns happen. What a weird limit to have, though. And 10% ability effect. Yeah. I mean, I have the Ring of Overseeing, I might as well just replace it thematically. And the Cloak of Protection. So pretty normal items. Just the one surprise Gathbin item, because I killed him. I guess it's not really a surprise then. I did kill him for it.
Right.
I don't know. Let me know if I mistook what happened there, but it really does seem like his guys just started murdering each other at the beginning of the fight, and there didn't seem to be any mechanical reason for why that happened. It seemed to be genuinely like some kind of very strange AI glitch. Where am I? Bale of Wood, Eastern Wood. Bagholt. Yenwood Field, right, there we go. I looked everywhere but that. It blends a little bit, but no, that's just me. My eyes were looking everywhere except for the right spot. Because it should be near Cadnua. Alright, that's one more mystery. There's little roads here and there that poke over here. So that's probably one of the spots because like once I noticed the obvious pattern here of like, look, all these roads go to spots you can click on the map. You start really getting suspicious of roads you see on the map. Which is one of the reasons I was able to figure out that Pearlwood is a level. That I just missed going left from here. But, I think this was a place I tried to go to before, too. And now, I know. It was waiting for me to go to Yenwood after all this time. Let's go home to Cadnua, have a rest. Maybe talk to our statue lady. And get any final dialogue about our victory. And then, that's that. Like, the anticipation is there. I'm like, oh shit, we're gonna finish Pillars of Eternity. For like 4 years in the making was me doing this finally. Because I was anticipating this for a while, finishing, the screen is just, are we just, did you just bug out on me? You just bug out on me when I try to go back to Cadnua? What the fuck? Are you alright? Hello? Alright. I might have to replay the mission or something if it bugged out. Because I don't know if it's going to load. There's no loading screen. It might have bugged. Weird. This is a new one. Even with 1 hour episodes, we have passed the 100 episode mark with 1 hour episodes. So this likely would have been my longest playthrough ever on the channel if I by episode count, if I did 30-minute episodes. Holy crap. It's up there with like Dragon Age Inquisition and Witcher 3, both of which had expansions. This one did too, I suppose, but I think Witcher's expansions were longer than this game's expansions. But yeah, I'm happy to have the 1 hour episode structure for RPGs because it would... For one thing, all the micromanagement I had to do this episode is the kind of thing that's just kind of agony when you're doing half-an-hour episodes. But also, it's nice to be able to reasonably get through these kinds of games in like in this game's case, in a third of a year instead of most of a year, and so on. Because I've got a big old backlog of things I'm trying to get used to. All right, well, we've been staring at a black screen for a while, so I'm going to go ahead and call it here, guys. See you next time. I'll figure out what I gotta do to make it so that we're ready next episode, or how much I need to replay, or whatever this bug is I'm seeing here. And now we're gonna go deal with Theos, that son of a bitch. I have no idea if like next episode's the finale or what, because I have no idea if it's gonna be like a big 10-hour gauntlet to get to Theos, or if it's gonna be like you just kind of fall into the chamber and fight him and talk to him and stuff, or what. Because I've seen both extremes. I've seen massive, elaborate final missions, and then I've seen Dragon Age Inquisition, where you literally just click on Corypheus on the map, and then you fight him, and then it ends, and you're like, what? There's some very brief endings in some of these games. See you guys next time.